And so here's number 11 and 12 from your test. The perimeter of a rectangle is 76 centimeters. The length is 2 more than twice the width. Tell the dimensions of the rectangle. Okay? So let's make an equation first. The perimeter, 76, equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And the way you know that equation is just from what we did in class, right? Or you could have drawn a rectangle and W plus L plus W plus L would give you that formula. Now let's look at the second part. The length is, so I'm going to write the length is 2 more than twice the width. Okay? So there's the equation set up, isn't it? And so I know this is what L equals, isn't it? And so I'm going to take what's inside that circle and I'm going to substitute it for L right there because what's in red here is what L equals. So I've got 76 equals 2 times, and in the place of L, I'm going to put 2 plus 2W plus 2W. Now you look at your equation and you say, is my whole equation in terms of one variable? Okay? In this equation, do I have just W's? Yeah, so I can solve it, right? And so I've got 76 equals, and I'm going to distribute this to 4 plus 4W plus 2W. Right? And so I have 76 equals 4 plus 6W. So I'll subtract 4 on both sides. And so 6W equals 72. And I'll divide 6 on both sides. And so the width of the box is 12. Is that right? 72 divided by 6, is that 12? And now that I know the width, I can take and plug it in for this W right here and calculate the length, right? So my length equals 2 plus 2 times 12. So my length equals 24 plus 2, which is 26. And so my width is 12, and my length is 26. All right, this word problem says the sum of two numbers is 80, and their difference is 22. Find the numbers. So when it says the sum of two numbers, they're saying x plus y equals what? 80. And the difference, x minus y, is 22. Okay? Now if you look, this is set up perfectly for me to eliminate the what? The y's. So I'm going to eliminate the y's. I'm going to add up x plus x, and I get what? 2x. And y and negative y is 0. And 80 and 102 is 80 and 22 is 102. Then I'll divide 2 on both sides. So what does x equal? 51. But we don't know y yet, do we? So I'm going to plug 51 into the top equation for x. 51 plus y equals 80. And I'll subtract 51 from both sides. And so y equals, is it 29? And so there's your x and there's your y. So on this problem, we have the cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of note paper is $13.25. That's scenario 1, right? Scenario 2 says 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of note paper cost $17. Find the cost of each box of envelopes and each box of note paper. So for scenario 1, I've got 3 boxes of envelopes. I'm going to use E to represent envelopes. Plus 4 boxes of note paper. I'm going to use N to represent note paper. Equals $13.25. Now, could you have used X instead of E to represent your envelopes? Yes. And could you have used Y instead of N to represent your notebooks? No. You could have. Okay. Now let's make the second equation. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of note paper cost $17. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of note paper costs $17. And so now we have a good system of equations, and so I need to try to eliminate either the e or the n. Okay? Neither's super easy to eliminate. I'm going to have to multiply the whole top times the number and the whole bottom times the number. I'm going to eliminate the e. In order for me to do that, I need to multiply the top times 2 and the bottom times what? Negative 3. So I'm going to take the top and multiply by 2, and I'm going to take the bottom and multiply by negative 3. When I do that, my top equation will be, because I'm multiplying 2 times everything, it'll be 6e plus 8n equals 13.25 times 2 is probably 2650. And now I'm going to distribute on the bottom equation. Negative 3 times 2e is negative 6e. Negative 3 times 6n is negative 18n. And negative 3 times 17, I think, is probably 51. Is that right?
Negative 51.
Negative 51, good. And now I'm going to add them up. 6e and negative 6e gives me nothing. 8n and negative 18n gives me negative 10n. And 2650 and negative 51 gives me negative what? Negative 24.5. And then I'll divide by negative 10 on both sides. And so I've got that the number of boxes is 2.4, or is it the price per box? Find the cost. Yeah, so each box costs $2.45. Right? And so now I'm going to take that and plug it into either equation for n. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 245 and I'm going to plug it in for n in the top equation right here. Y'all see it? So I've got 3e plus 4 times $2.45 equals $13.25. And now I need to solve for e, don't I? What is 4 times $2.45? $9.80. $9.80? So I'm going to subtract $9.80 from both sides. And so I've got 3e equals, y'all subtract that for me, $13.25 minus $9.80 is what? $3.45. Then I'll divide 3 on both sides. And so e equals $1.15. And so my envelopes were $1.15 and my notebooks were $2.45. So here's 17 on the test, and the instructions are for us to solve this by elimination. Okay? Now, there's nothing I can just multiply the top by to make something on bottom cancel, so I'm going to have to multiply both equations by a number. Okay, it depends on which variable you want to cancel. I want to cancel the y's for no particular reason. So I'm going to multiply the top times 3, because when I multiply that 3 times the 4y, I'm going to get 12y. And I'm going to multiply the bottom times 4, and so when I distribute that, I get negative 12y. Okay, so let's write our result. 3 times negative 6x is what? Negative 18x. 3 times 4y is 12y. And 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times negative 3y is negative 12y. And 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. And now I'm going to add them up. Negative 18x and 20x is 2x. These cancel, and it equals 8. And then I'll divide 2 on both sides, and so what does x equal? 4. And now that we've got x, we need to find what? Y. So I'm going to write the top equation, negative 6 times what x is, plus 4y equals 12. So I've got negative 24 plus 4y equals 12. Then I'll add 24 on both sides. And so I've got 4y equals 36. Divide 4 on both sides, so what does y equal? 9. Okay, number 18 on the test. Okay, here's what I'm going to do right here. Is I can see that these x's are opposites. So if I add them, I'll get 0 and eliminate the x's, right? Now let's add negative 2y and negative 5y. And I get negative 7y equals, and let's add negative 20 and positive 6, and you get negative 14, right? And then I'll divide by negative 7 on both sides, and so y equals positive 2. Now I know what y is. Let's write one of the top equation, negative 2x minus 2 times, and y is 2, equals negative 20. And so I've got negative 2x minus 4 equals negative 20. I will add 4 to both sides. And so negative 2x equals negative 16. Then I'll divide negative 2 on both sides. And so what does x equal?
8.
8. And so your answer is 8, 2. And what you're saying is when you graph the two lines, they're going to intersect at the point 8, 2.